Welcome to Northern Virginia, where we'll be sharing some exciting out of the DC box experiences for your groups. First, a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. To ensure the best experience for you and for everyone else, we would ask that you please take a moment to mute your microphone before we begin. Also, please send any questions you may have through the chat function or hold them to the end of the presentation. We are already eager to answer everyone's questions at the conclusion of today's presentation. Additionally, for optimal viewing, we recommend you change your view to speaker view in the top right corner of your screen. Without further delay, let's begin today's adventure in Arlington County.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Portia Connerly, and I am the Director of Sales for Arlington, Virginia, and we are so happy that you all have taken out the time to be with us today. So let's begin our journey through Arlington, Virginia. A few fun facts. Arlington, Virginia is the smallest county in the U.S. that manages its own affairs. And Arlington was originally a part of DC, but returned to Virginia in 1846, and we are only 26 square miles. We have 39 hotel properties of all sizes and brands, and our hotel rates are usually 20% less than the downtown DC hotels. And as far as accessibility, we have 11 different metro stations that run throughout Arlington. As far as proximity to DC, you can hop on the metro and be there within 10 minutes. And we are also home to the DCA Ronald Reagan National Airport. So let's get started with Gravelly Point Park, which is a beautiful outdoor space. And I think it's one of the coolest spots that runs along the George Washington Parkway. Why is it so cool? Well, this is the perfect spot to watch the planes land and take off from the Ronald Reagan National Airport. This is also a great spot to run, bike, and have picnics. And you will often see families and groups flying kites and playing Frisbee. This is also a great location for groups to stop and enjoy their box lunches while they are visiting the area. And keep in mind, right across from this location, there is motor coach parking available. And in my view, this is the best spot to watch the sun rise and set. Next up is one of our hidden gems, Bon Air Park. This is an English-style rose garden with a spectacular range of 130 varieties of roses. Spend an afternoon wandering Bon Air Rose Garden's carefully groomed walking paths, secluded benches, and lovely trellises. Peak bloom for the roses occurs from the end of May through June. Intermixed throughout the grounds are azalea and ornamental tree gardens, as well as shade and sun gardens. You can explore the surrounding park, Bon Air Park, which includes playgrounds, picnic areas, and a path, and the 4-mile run stream. And if you're looking for a day of outdoor adventure, Upton Hill Regional Park in Arlington is your spot. Here you will find deluxe mini golf, as well as batting cages and tons of walking trails. Last but not least, if your group is looking for a great walking tour full of education and American history, you should consider the Halls Hill African American Self-Guided Walking Tour. Halls Hill was one of the 3 main Black communities in Arlington during segregation. This African American Self-Guided Walking Tour highlights 6 sites of interest, which includes Fire Station 8, which was the first officially Black staffed and operated fire station south of the Mason-Dixon line. This tour also highlights Langston Elementary School, which opened in 1925, and it was a segregated elementary school for all African American residents in the northern part of Arlington. This tour also covers the segregation wall. In all of Arlington's African American neighborhoods, walls were established to keep their residents from entering adjacent white communities, and part of that wall still stands today. So now let's head on over to Alexandria and see what's happening there. So take it away, Lindsay.
Thank you, Portia. Welcome to Alexandria, Virginia. Thanks so much for joining today. My name is Lindsay Chase, and I am the Destination Sales Manager at Visit Alexandria. I am so excited to explore Alexandria with you all today and find out what makes Alexandria so unique and out of the box. Alexandria is located on the Potomac River within eyesight of Washington, D.C. Alexandria delights travelers from around the world. This nationally designated historic district, founded in 1749, is a 5-minute drive from Reagan National Airport and just a short distance from Washington Dulles International Airport and Baltimore Washington International Airport. We're also right off of I-95. This makes Alexandria very easy to get to. One way to explore Alexandria is to embark on one of our many walking tours. One of my personal favorites is a food tour, which takes you around Old Town by foot, stopping at all of the fan favorites for a bite to eat, all while learning about the historic features in our city. Come nightfall, glimpse the city's spooky side on one of Old Town Alexandria's ghost tours. A colonial costumed lantern welding docent will guide you through the twilight, sharing ghost stories, legends, and folklore. We also have walking tours by Manumission Tour Company, an independent-owned Black business that features African-American history in Alexandria. As George Washington's hometown, Alexandria has more than 140 locations with ties to the nation's first president. We have many intimate museums that you can choose from, highlighting the beginnings of America. Favorites in the city are the Carlisle House, which was once home to Alexandria co-founder John Carlisle, and the Alexandria Black History Museum, which details the city's strong African-American leaders from the Civil War to civil rights and beyond. Explore Alexandria with one of our boat tour companies. City Cruises offers seasonal sightseeing cruises, including monument tours from Alexandria, a cruise to Mount Vernon, as well as private charters for groups and students. The tall ship Providence is also a great option. This boat provides a living link to our rich naval and revolutionary history. The Providence is a replica of the first ship authorized to serve in the Navy. The ship even has John Paul Jones himself, the first American command giving the tours. This gives visitors the chance to step back in time and see what life was like for sailors in the 18th century. Last but not least, we have the world-famous Torpedo Art Factory Center. Located on the Potomac River in Old Town Alexandria, this is nationally recognized as one of America's top art places. Built in 1918, this former naval plant once created torpedoes during World War II before converting to a storage for things like congressional documents, Smithsonian dinosaur bones, and Nazi trial records. In 1974, the complex transformed. Now it is home to the nation's largest number of publicly accessible artist studios under one roof. Visit all 3 floors to find 82 studios, 7 galleries, and more than 160 artists working their art. Managed by the City of Alexandria's Office of the Arts, the Torpedo Art Factory Center continues to be a must-see cultural icon for Alexandria. Now let's move over west to Fairfax County and meet Linda.
Thanks, Lindsay. As she said, we're heading west to Fairfax County. We're just a short 15 to 24 miles from Washington, D.C., and easy to get to with 4 major interstates running through the county: I-66, 95, 395, and 495, which is a beltway. We're also flanked by 2 airports: Dulles International Airport, just west of our border in Loudoun County, and Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport to the east in Arlington. We're best known as home to George Washington's Mount Vernon estate. But today I'm going to share with you a few more out-of-the-box gems to spruce up your group trips. Let's start outdoors with our green spaces and start with Huntley Meadows Park. We're actually home to over 30,000 acres of green space with over 400 local, state, national, and regional parks, and Huntley Meadows is one of the largest in the county. It's home to a half-mile boardwalk trail and observation tower, which offers excellent views of wetland wildlife. Enjoy a variety of naturalist-led wildlife tours, nature photography, or even bird watching tours. You can also pair the outdoor component with a tour of historic Huntley, a 19th century architectural gem. From these options, you can choose from an experience such as a house detective tour, an afternoon 1830s themed tea, or a Women of Historic Huntley tour. Next, we'll move on to another great outdoor space of a different kind. Wolf Trap is the country's only national park dedicated to the performing arts. This one-of-a-kind venue has year-round indoor and outdoor performances, nestled among their 100 acres of forest. From rock and pop to classic and country, Wolf Trap has you musically covered. Plus, you can picnic under the stars while you enjoy the music. Group pricing is available for groups of 10 or more. Did you know that Fairfax County is also home to the last remaining African-American school in Northern Virginia? Laurel Grove Schoolhouse provided education for the area's African-American students in grades 1 through 7 in its one-room building from 1886 through 1932. Today, it stands as a living museum, restored to reclaim its heritage and bring life into history. Visit to experience a day in the life of a Laurel Grove student circa 1920, and visits can be arranged by appointment. Lastly, let's explore the grounds of a former prison turned arts haven. The Workhouse Art Center is home to over 65 studio artists and hundreds more exhibitors. Browse the galleries and studios for one-on-one interaction with the artists, and their on-site theater has shows running year-round. Tour this prison museum to hear about the 91 years of prison history. In fact, to give you a little sneak peek, the Workhouse's storied past as a prison features a few names you might recognize. The notorious criminal mastermind behind the Watergate scandal, G. Gordon Liddy, along with local celebrities like Chuck Brown, were actually imprisoned here. Guided tours of the prison museum are available for groups of 8 or more. Thanks, and with that, I'll hand you over to Mike in Prince William County.
Thanks, Linda. Heading west or south from Fairfax County, you run into Prince William, only 25 to 29 miles from Washington, D.C. The county is bisected by Interstate 66 and 95 and borders the Potomac River on our east. The major communities include Manassas, Gainesville, and Haymarket on the I-66 corridor, and Occoquan, Woodbridge, Dumfries, and Triangle/Quantico on the 95 corridor. My first stop on our tour of unique Northern Virginia experiences is our quaint riverfront town of Occoquan. Less than 1 mile from Interstate 95, what is cool about Occoquan is the mayor, Ernie, gives guided tours of the town. This 45 to 60-minute tour around the 3-block by 3-block historic district is typically done all on the bus. It covers the history of the town from its early days as a major shipping/industrial center and stop along the major north-south road to today's locally owned mom and pop shops. You'll definitely want to ask Ernie why the Artist's Undertaking Gallery is named as such during your tour. The tour is $50 and per tour plus gratuity, and there is free bus parking in town. Besides Ernie's tour, what many adult groups enjoy about Occoquan is the shopping. The town is an eclectic mix of antique stores, boutique, clothing shops, art galleries, home decor spots, and more. One of the unique group experiences in Occoquan, besides Ernie's tour, of course, is a progressive meal. You can have an appetizer and a paired glass of wine at Bottle Stop Wine Bar or some Tex-Mex at Bar J's Chili Parlor. You can enjoy your entree on the waterfront at Madigan's and savor your dessert as you sink your teeth into a slice of freshly made apple pie from Mom's Apple Pie or a heavenly piece of homemade almond bark from Nasbro Chocolates. All the restaurants are on the same street, Mill Street, and can be walked to very easily, but you can just as easily loop around the town on the bus if your group has mobility concerns. Our next stop is the Hilton Performing Arts Center. It's located in Manassas on the George Mason University's Science and Technology campus. Home to the 1,000-seat Merchant Theater, this state-of-the-art theater has played host to hundreds of acts, including the Vienna Boys Choir, Grammy winner Lee Greenwood, country artist Clint Black, and the Shangri-La Acrobats. They offer group rates on tickets with special deposits policies for tour operators for their annual Hilton Presents series. But what makes them unique is their ability to host performances on demand through their performance a la carte program. You pick the date, time, and style of performance you want, and if they have space for your group, they will put on a show just for you. If you want a jazz ensemble, small play, comedian, string quartet, or other unique performance, they have you covered. Our next unique experience is the Old Manassas Courthouse. The commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Battle of First Manassas, called the Peace Jubilee and presided over by President Howard Taft, took place outside the front doors of this courthouse in July 1911. It was here that around 500 aging veterans from both sides of the Civil War met, in addition to prominent political figures and members of the public. During the Jubilee, veterans shook hands at the once contested Henry Hill at Manassas National Battlefield, had a picnic lunch, and shared stories well into the night. On the second floor of this historic building is a large open ballroom where groups can do a catered lunch or dinner paired with a history presentation. An elevator is available for those who cannot do the stairs, and there is free nearby bus parking. Our next stop is at Effingham Manor Winery, and it's a Tidewater-style manor built in the 18th century by William Alexander, a former colonel in the local militia and a county justice. Their enormous event center can host over 100 people easily and is attached to their wine production facility. Experiences here include a wine blending class where you will create a perfectly personalized bottle of wine with their wine expert or with their wine educators as your guide. They have a vintner's lunch. It's a 5-course lunch paired with Effingham's award-winning wines, or you can just do a simple tasting and a tour. There is free and ample bus parking on site. Thank you, and now I would like to throw it over to my neighbor to the north, Hannah Oliver with Visit Loudoun.
Thanks, Mike. Welcome to Loudoun County, and thank you again for joining us this morning. My name is Hannah Oliver, and I am the Tour and Travel Sales Manager with Visit Loudoun. As you can see on this map, Loudoun is just north of Prince William and west of Fairfax. Our eastern border is just 25 miles from Washington, D.C., and we are home to Dulles International Airport. We have a unique makeup of both urban and suburban with rural and farmland. Because of this rural landscape, Loudoun County is known as DC's wine country, but it also offers great out-of-the-box experiences for groups. I have chosen just a few to highlight today. Starting on our southern border in Middleburg, we have the National Sporting Library and Museum. This art museum is a complete hidden gem in Loudoun County and a great stop for group tours. While there, a group can take part in a docent-led tour of the art museum, followed by a visit to the library and the rare book room, which happens to be my favorite part. Here, they have the opportunity to see a variety of fun and unique artifacts and books, such as a 4-edge book, where the painting is done on the edge of the unbound side and can only be seen by fanning out the pages. There is an example in that second picture, but I have to tell you it is much more impressive to see in person. Another great stop in the Middleburg area is Aldi Mill Historical Park, which not only played a huge part in Loudoun's history, but it is still a working mill. Though it does not run every day, a miller can come on site and provide a working milling demonstration for your groups. This can be done on its own, but also pairs well with a historic driving tour along Route 50 with our local Loudoun historian. Not only is it a great historic tour and site, but it offers a great opportunity to see how these 1900s state-of-the-art machines worked. A couple dining options for your tour. Delirium Cafe in Leesburg is the first US location of this famous Belgian cafe seen across Europe. Known for its pink elephant logo, Delirium Cafe offers great dining and drinking options for groups, whether they want to enjoy a simple tasting, a full meal, or even a pairing with unique bar snacks. The cafe's owner loves to be creative, so the options are endless. Or go a little more classic with Clyde's Willow Creek Farm. This local restaurant group is known for their farm fresh food, but the Loudoun location will also give you a very historic feel. The restaurant is made up of a former barn and farm buildings, which gives it a rustic feel. As you can see just from these two photos, their dining rooms are very unique and can offer spaces to fit a variety of group sizes. We, of course, cannot let you go thirsty in Loudoun County. If wine is your fancy, make sure to include Zephaniah Farm Vineyards, family owned and operated on their 4th generation farm. What used to be a booming dairy farm was changed into a winery in the early 2000s when Bill Hatch and Bonnie Archer decided to make a few changes. Not only is their wine delicious, but their story is fun. These Loudoun locals are a perfect way to get a taste of Loudoun's charm. And if wine pales to the ale, check out one of Loudoun County's first breweries at Old Ox Brewery in Ashburn or their new Middleburg location. Taste one of several rotating beers on tap, enjoy a beer tasting, or even pair with ice cream for a fun experience. You can even plan a cornhole or bags tournament for your group. And if you are visiting during Cherry Blossom, make sure to enjoy their Saison Ale, specially made for the season. If unique events are something your group would enjoy, make sure to plan for a Saturday night in July or August to attend Polo in the Park. This summer event is a great way to enjoy something that makes Loudoun, Loudoun, horses. Pack a picnic, get a boxed dinner, or enjoy from the food trucks on site. This is a great group option and something many have not had the opportunity to experience. If you want to visit the historic mansion during the day, a polo class can be arranged, and no one will get on a horse. Last but certainly not least is the Waterford Fair, which takes place the first weekend in October each year. This is the oldest juried artisan fair in the nation, running now for 77 years, and makes for a great group visit. Check out the artisans, whether painting or silversmithing, visit some of the historic privately owned properties in town, listen to live music, and enjoy tasty treats along the way. Fun fact about the fair is that the entire village of Waterford is designated a National Historic Landmark and requires its residents to park outside of the village to give the feel of a real 1700s village during that weekend. Thank you again for attending today's virtual tour. Please join us for other virtual tours in the series to uncover even more exciting experiences available for your groups. You will soon receive registration emails for us to sign up if you haven't done so already. And here's how you can reach us. Please do not hesitate to reach out for all of your Northern Virginia tour needs. Now, does anybody have any questions?